What's up, Commanders? My name is Danbot, and welcome back to another episode of Into the Beyond. Now, in the most recent video, I kind of talked about crime and punishment a little bit and went through the steps of removing the hot status from my Anaconda. Kind of wanted to take a look at the rest of the equation. However, I don't feel like paying the rebuy on my Anaconda, so I've bought us an Eagle here and A-rated it because it's not that expensive, and we're just going to go harass some people and get killed and check out the rest of the system. Alright, so is there anybody around here that we want to kill? You know what? I had selected the asteroid belt. I think we can probably go check that out and see if there's some people to murder there. I'd like to actually get the murder bounty and get my notoriety up one level so that we can see the full extent of the system rather than attacking the feds and getting slaughtered by the station. That's just probably not going to work out so well. So let's get on over to this belt here and see what there is to see. Alright, well, here we are in the belt cluster, and while it offers quite a striking view of the star, unfortunately there's not really any targets here, so let's head on to the Nav Beacon and see what we can find there. And here we are at the Nav Beacon. Now, for this particular little demonstration, I'm looking for something small that I can kill easily, and I don't really care if I live, so this hauler, or adder right here, ought to do just nicely, so let's go ahead and open up on this guy. There's our bounty. There's our bounty. And I've forgotten how much fun it can be to fly one of the smaller fighters. As I said, I don't really care if we live or die. Alright, so he is gone, and if we flip over here, you'll notice that we now have a notoriety of 1 because we just murdered that guy. So now we're just kind of waiting on the feds to show up and murder us. I'm not even going to put up a fight. In fact, I'm going to stow my hard points. I'm a little surprised that they haven't shown up. Suppose we could go pick a fight with this vulture real quick. He ought to make short enough work of us. And of course we'll get another assault bounty. Alright, so let's just let him line up and get a nice shot. And there we go. That is the end of our Eagle. And we're going to be sent to a detention center because crimes against people's free to resistance were detected for your ship. And we must pay all appropriate legal costs. Alright. Well, I want to buy back our Sidewinder. Or our Eagle, rather. And we're going to be loaded onto a detention center. Here we are. Felony is futile. Jettison the past. Those are some interesting messages they have there. Let's have a look at Starport Services here. So, we cannot actually pay off our fines and bounties here. Let's see what we actually have. No outstanding transactions. We've already paid them when we respawn, that's right. So, it does have a shipyard. You can buy a Sidewinder to make sure you don't get stuck. It does have outfitting. However, it does not have any stock for weapons, utility mounts, or core internals. This is really just here because these ships have that. Now, I could, if I wanted to, have one of my ships sent to me. It'd cost me 2 million credits to have the Anaconda sent here, and I'd have to wait for 12 minutes. So let's go ahead and return to the surface here. Basically, the ship is no longer hot. We don't have any fines or bounties, but let's talk about something I mentioned in the other video, which is it doesn't really seem to make a ton of sense to let somebody go on a murder spree and then just pay their fines like nothing is wrong. Take a look at the detention ship here. And that was basically what the old system is, and it in reality is what the new system is, just with an added layer of sending you to a detention ship and making you pay all the costs up front. Now, of course, you'll argue that in both systems, as long as you didn't get caught, then you really didn't have to worry about this. And while this is a little bit more, I guess, immersive, it doesn't seem to make as much sense to me. Now, it's dropped me 47 light years away from where I was going, or from where I was, and that is 4 jumps in a ship that has absolutely no fuel scoop. So we can probably make it, but it's going to be an absolute pain in the ass. So I wonder what some alternatives to this system might be, because when it boils down to it, all you're really doing is paying money to make crimes go away, and that's not actually how things work in real life. I don't advocate that there should be some kind of jail time for players, but there needs to be more consequence than just, well, hand over some credits and be on your way, because for players that have any of the big 3 ships, and especially those that are billionaires, those fines are really nothing. We paid 46 grand to get out of that particular situation, and I have 171 million in the bank. That's not exactly hurting me. So the question is, what can Frontier do to kind of make this a little bit more meaningful and a little bit more realistic? Maybe impound your ship for a certain amount of time after you pay off your fines, the ship that you committed the crimes in. Maybe have a bit of permanent notoriety that sticks around with specific systems, not with superpowers, but with the specific systems where you commit your crimes. Something to make it a little more permanent and a little more meaningful than, oh, I did some bad stuff, let me just dump some credits and be on my merry way. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm going to fly back to where my Anaconda is and continue on my merry way as if nothing happened, because I paid 46 grand to make it like nothing happened. If you find a video useful or you liked it, hey, hit the subscribe button, follow me on Twitter so you know when videos are going live, and maybe check out my Patreon. Alright guys, that's going to do it for me. My name's been Dimebot, and we'll see you next time.